This is Let's Talk Big, the Big Read, with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel. The Owens Community College Campus Read is taking place now and throughout the semester, with the goal of bringing awareness of different perspectives through books. The Campus Read book is What My Bones Know by acclaimed journalist Stephanie Fu. It's the story of her reckoning and healing by investigating the little understood science behind complex PTSD and how it's shaped her life. Here, sharing their insight about the book, What My Bones Know, is Owens Community College Director of Library Services, Jane Berger, and Professor of English, Jen Hazel.
I'm Jen Hazel, and I have with me today Jane Berger and one of my esteemed colleagues, Dr. Shannon Holleran. We're here today because Shannon is going to be talking about an event that's coming up next week. Shannon, can you tell us a little bit about your discussion on complex PTSD?
Absolutely, Jen. So during our discussion, we are going to dive into what exactly complex PTSD is. Now, in the psychology literature, we do refer to this as complex trauma. We're going to be talking about what exactly that is, the symptoms, what the causes and treatment are for this particular condition, as well as some cutting-edge neuroscience research examining the effect that trauma plays on a person's brain.
Wow. I can't wait.
I know, me too. So Shannon, can you give us like a little preview, maybe in terms of Stephanie Fu's book and what Stephanie kind of talks about?
Absolutely. So Stephanie, in her book, discusses really how the early events of her life and those repeated incidents of trauma, how they had an impact on her and how her journey was to try to find help and healing. We're going to be talking about the psychological literature that connects Stephanie's experiences to what we know in the field of psychology.
Awesome. I think she was diagnosed in 2017, maybe, not all that long ago. Since that time, do you know, just based on information that you've read or research that you have seen, is it easier, I guess? She really went through the ringer trying to get a diagnosis. Is it easier because it's more known now, or is it still a little nebulous?
That is such a great question. So it's a really individualized per person, but I would say that what I have seen is that there's more and more research being published about complex PTSD, and that is just helping people to be able to get the correct diagnosis even sooner and hopefully start their own road to treatment.
Got it. Yeah, because it was brutal for her to, and good thing she was tenacious and trying to continue to get at the root of what it was, not just taking an answer or not really even an answer. This is just the way it is, or she really was her own advocate, and that's probably a great message too for people who are listening. That no matter what it is that you're trying to, get at the root of, you need to be your own advocate to continue to push and press and get the answer that you deserve.
Now, Shannon, I know you're probably going to talk about this, but for anyone who doesn't quite know about PTSD, what is the difference between PTSD and complex PTSD?
Great question. So PTSD is a single incident of trauma that occurs in a person's life. So you can imagine, maybe, for example, you get into a really bad car accident and it makes a really big impact on your life. With complex PTSD, what we do is we see repeated incidents or occurrences of trauma, oftentimes occurring when a person is very young.
Okay. That, I think, is really helpful because I think many of us know PTSD but aren't quite sure of what complex PTSD is or entails. And I know we're going to talk about that, so we don't want to give away too much because we want people to listen to you on April 18th at 11 a.m. live stream the link on our website, which is owens.edu/humanities/read, is where you can find that link. So any last thoughts, Shannon? Anything we should kind of think about before we come and listen?
I would just say that, come ready to listen, ready to learn, and have a really open and authentic discussion all about complex PTSD.
Wonderful. As always, thank you so much, Shannon. We just love you on this podcast. So let me make sure that we get those details out there. Dr. Shannon Holleran is going to be talking about complex PTSD on Tuesday, April 18th, 11 a.m. It is going to be live streamed only. You can find that link on our website, owens.edu/humanities/read, owens.edu/humanities/read. And that's going to do it for us today. On behalf of Dr. Holleran, Jane, and myself, we want you to keep reading big, thinking big, and listening big. So please make sure you are listening to Outcast, OCCR, Owens Community College Radio, where you can hear us, and on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep reading big.
Join us again for Let's Talk Big, the Big Read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel.